welcome to Monkey John Collective, and this video is all about this. This is the BK2s by ZIUS Blasters, out of, I think, Singapore. I'm not really sure. Anyway, this is the kind of second iteration of this blaster. The BKs came out, I don't know, earlier this year, last year. Kind of passed me by because these are AEG or AEB blasters, so that's automatic electronic blasters. We do have had these in the Nerf hobby since day one, with the likes of the Vulcan and the Stampede and things, but they've been more kind of airsoft blasters up until this point, and only recently have the third-party blaster makers been getting into making dart versions of these. So this is the second iteration. I think the first version of the BKs had some issues with reliability and jamming, and then they've kind of redeveloped it, and they've brought out the 2S and the BK2s and the BK1s, I think. And this is the newer version. So essentially the main blaster is the same. The 2S is this version, which is slightly more compact, has a shorter barrel and a more compact stock, and the 1S has longer barrel, so it's slightly higher FPS, but it has a buffer tube stock. Reason I went for this one, just because I like more compact blasters, and I liked the stock. I like the kind of CQB collapsible stock, and the fact that you can fit bigger batteries in this stock, whereas if you get the buffer tube version, you have to get buffer tube batteries, which I didn't really want to do. I picked this up at Foam Fest. These were imported by Miles, who's a fellow Team Tropicana team member, and he's a kind of, I'd say, a community representative for Black Raisins, and he's kind of involved in trying to do some speed dart games and things here in the UK. They were at Foam Fest doing speed dart games at Foam Fest, which was amazing fun. Everyone loved it. But he also got a load of these blasters and some Dianas and mags and stuff imported over, and was selling them at kind of really cheap prices at Foam Fest for people who kind of came to the event. So I hadn't planned on buying one. This was actually bought for me as a gift by Mel, who surprised me with it, which I was very chuffed about. It's something I'd kind of looked at, and I'd expressed a bit of interest in it, but I was of the opinion that, you know, if there's any left at the end of the day, I might pick one up. But they were selling out really quickly, so Mel jumped in and bought me one, which was very nice, and surprised me with it, which was cool. But yeah, this is my first kind of hobby grade AEB blaster, and yeah, it's not without a few flaws, I feel, but it's also pretty cool. This version with this scar barrel, this is a bearing, 3D printed bearing scar, which I use with it, which really hones in the accuracy. If you see from the front video there, accuracy wise, this was fantastic. I think I nailed that helmet from 50 feet in maybe 4, 5, 6 shots in a row. It's super accurate. We're getting about 165 FPS with bamboo darts. One thing about this is it's very picky about darts. It seems to pretty much just love bamboo darts, and anything else it doesn't particularly like. So with bamboo darts, I'm getting about 165, 170 FPS with the scar barrel on. Without the scar, it goes up slightly, touches 180, 175, 170 average. But 165 average with the bearing scar there. So it's very picky with the darts. If you switch to kind of normal darts, that FPS will drop down to 140, 130 FPS even, using kind of older worker Gen 2s, things like that, and also increases your jam probability as well. I found getting this started is a bit of a pain. So you have 3 settings here: safe, semi-auto and full auto. I've locked out the full auto here. I've put a screw in the shell there, so I can't physically turn it into full auto, and that's to do with surrounding the kind of UK law on full auto blasters that are air powered. There's a UK law saying anything over 1 joule can't be full auto if it's air powered, so that means AEBs and HPA. So I've locked that out just to be safe, so I can't physically turn it into full auto. So it's got semi or safe. What you have to do is install the LiPo. The LiPo goes in the back here. There's just a little clip here. You pull that off, and then I find I have to get a pair of pliers, pull the back end off. Stock just comes out. There. Pull that end off. LiPo goes in there. And pop your stock back in. and then you have to switch it to semi-auto, pull the trigger, and that will charge the spring. You put your mag in or whatever, and then you've got a charging handle here which you can use, and you can chamber a dart, and then you're ready to go. You're single fire every trigger pull. You can set it to do a double tap as well if you want, but I'm just using it in single mode. You just have to hold the trigger down, wait for 5 seconds, it'll beep, and that switches it to 2-shot mode. But just keep it in single mode, and obviously I've got full auto locked out. But I do find sometimes it doesn't seem to engage fully, and I have to use it, mess about with the charging handle to get it to catch, and then chamber the dart, and then sometimes I just feel it's a bit finicky, and there's something not quite right with it. It feels like the gears are grinding a little, and it could take a few shots to get it up and running. But then once it's up and running, it seems to work fine, and you just tap the trigger, and bam, you've got a dart on target. It's very reliable, very consistent. It being an AAB, every shot's the same. You know, it's just, there's no priming or anything, so you can just hold and tap and take aim, and it's very good for that. Biggest thing about this blaster is probably it has proprietary mags. This has been a bit of a deal breaker for a lot of people. It was something that put me off it, but I did manage to pick up a bunch of second-hand mags, so I do have 12 mags now for this. The original mags hold 12 darts. I bought some 3D printed mag extenders, which took it up to 18 darts, but I found because they extended the draw of the spring quite a lot, it kind of weakened the spring, and if you were spamming the trigger, the bolt moved so fast, the spring couldn't keep up with it, and it kept jamming. So I got rid of the mag extenders, and what I've done, there's a mod you can do where you just chop down the follower on the thing, on the magazine, and you can get 15 darts in each mag quite comfortably, and it doesn't affect the spring tension whatsoever, so the spring can keep up with chambering the darts properly. So you can get 15 rounds per mag, and I now have 12 of these mags, so whenever I use this blaster now, I do have plenty of mags to use for it. The only thing is they can't be used with anything else, and you can't use them. You can mod this magwell to take talons, but there's a lot of filing, and it looks like a bit of a fine-tuned job, and it was cheaper just to buy a bunch of second-hand mags. I know somebody who had converted theirs to talons, so they were getting rid of a load of mags that they'd bought. This came with some spare mags. Miles, who did the deal at Foam Fest with them, we supplied them with spare mags and a lipo for all one price in a bundle, which was really cool and much appreciated by everyone who picked them up as well, because it meant you had a handful of mags and the lipo just ready to go, so it was kind of plug and play when you picked it up at Foam Fest, which was really good. So yeah, biggest gripe about this blaster is I just don't like the silhouette of it. It just looks like an assault rifle, and I don't like that, and it was my biggest thing about picking one of these up. So I am going to have to paint this. I'm going to probably paint it kind of rainbow colours, I think, and just make it as bright as possible. So I'm probably going to do the barrel and the back end here kind of rainbow, and then maybe the body my usual kind of green colour or something. But I don't like the silhouette. I wish there was a more sci-fi kit you could get for it. Maybe they'll come out in the future. I know there are some body kits and different shrouds and stuff you can get for the barrel. Yeah, but that's my biggest thing about this blaster. I don't really like the shape of it, but I'm only going to be using this on private sites. It's not something I'll be wielding about in public. So yeah, but that's my biggest thing about the blaster is just the overall shape and silhouette of it. It's not particularly, it's not my usual style. If you a regular follower of the channel, you know my jam is very much sci-fi and keeping things toy-like. This just isn't that at all. You just got one little mag release on the side there, very tight magwell. But yeah, well, if you're used to reloading and tight magwells, you can do it fairly quickly still. But yeah, a little jam door there, which is very tiny. If you get a jam, it's usually just a case of using the charging handle to clear the jam, take your mag out and start again. I have found if you get a jam with this in mid-game, it's really awkward to clear if you have to reset the blaster and stuff, so you have to go find a quiet corner and hold the trigger down to deprime. When you finish playing with this, you have to hold the trigger down in semi-auto for like 20 seconds till it beeps, and then that deprimes the blaster so you can store it. because when it's live, the spring is constantly under tension and it just fires and reloads, fires, reloads. So if you go to store it, the spring would be under tension, so you have to deprime that. There's a way to do it. It's all done with holding the trigger down for different amounts of time, which is a bit of a pain, but yeah, end of the day. I'm going to use this again at a couple of games and see how I get on with it. But right now, it's not my favourite blaster. When it works well, and it's really cool. But getting it to work well and reliable is it's hard work at times, and requires a good bit of work. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a love-hate relationship, I think. There is a new version of this due out soon. There's a pro version. Hopefully that might iron out some of these kinks, and with it probably be a bit higher FPS. It'll be interesting to see what that looks like when it comes out. We'll keep eyes on that. It's not a blast I'm going to rush out and buy. We'll see how it gets on. But yeah, it's good to get hold of one of these and try it out, and it is fun when it works, and it's annoying when it doesn't. But anyway. So anyway, massive thanks to Miles and the guys from Black Raisins who got these over to the UK, and hopefully we'll see some more Speed Dart games from them. That was very cool, the Speed Dart stuff they did at Film Fest. Maybe we'll see it at Film Fest next year, we don't know, we'll see. And anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you check us out on Facebook and on Instagram and here on YouTube, and we'll see you later. Thanks for watching.